Superman is the first movie in James Gunn's new DCU, and did they come out guns blazing, or was the gun jammed? Welcome back to Movies Good Internet Bad. I'm Cory, and this is my mostly non-spoiler review of James Gunn's Superman. It will be hard to not spoil things. I'm going to try my best to keep plot details under wraps and whatnot, but in this video we'll cover the cast, the cinematography, the visual effects, the musical score, the story, the script, the direction, and where I think this whole DCU thing is going to go. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We've got tons of other reviews up on the channel. We cover movies and TV shows all the time. So boy, this is going to be a stream of consciousness. I just got out of an early fan screening of this, and I liked it a lot. I don't know if I am completely in love with it, but I liked it a whole lot. This is a very light on its feet, heartfelt, earnest comic book film. You see here, this book, All-Star Superman, Grant Morrison. There's a bunch of stuff in here that you would describe as a splash page, something like this. This movie is this in comic book or in live action movie form. It is, it's really something else. It's probably the most comic booky movie that has come out in a very, very long time. And I'm not sure if that will resonate with everyone, but it sure resonated with me. I've been reading comic books my entire life. Big fan of them, and it was really cool to just see something bright and colorful on the screen. So let's talk about the cast. David Corenswet. I'm pretty sure that man was engineered in a laboratory to be Superman someday. He just looks like Superman. He sounds like Superman. He moves like Superman. Sorry to everyone else who has played the role before. I think he's the guy now. I think he's it. It's him or Christopher Reeve. It's hard to compare him to the original, and the '78 movie being as hokey as it is. But boy, was he great. He's got some great dramatic depth to his acting here. He shows emotion. He gets angry. He's sad. He's vulnerable, but he's also cocky and confident and triumphant, and maybe to a fault, which is something that makes his lady, Lois Lane, played by Rachel Brosnahan, a little bit weary about their relationship. Rachel is terrific in the movie. I had no doubt, if you've seen The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, you know how talented of an actor Rachel Brosnahan is. The chemistry between the two of them is very, very good. There are some scenes early on in the film that help establish the status quo between the two of them, and they're very good. And their love story is kind of the arc of the film, I would say, to a degree. And it's very obvious that they did a lot of chemistry tests and screen tests with different actors, and they really landed on the perfect two folks for that role, or those roles. Nicholas Hoult, very, very good. He is a very good actor, so no surprises there. Lex Luthor is a top-tier hater in this movie. He is a jealous man. He is a petty man. He holds a grudge like nobody's business, and he's great. And as one bald guy to another, hats off there. The rest of the supporting cast, just tons of fun. Everybody gets their moment to shine. Whether that's Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner with the worst bowl cut in history, Eddie Gathegi, who was terrific as Mr. Terrific. He was really, really good. Stole a bunch of the scenes that he was in. His tech is really cool. His line deliveries were excellent. Really love seeing him. Isabel Merced as Hawkgirl was there. Anthony Carrigan as Metamorpho. Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. pops up for a couple minutes there. The whole Daily Planet staff. Just a lot of really good chemistry. The cast said that they got together and hung out and had dinner almost every night while shooting, and it really shows. There's a good deal of camaraderie there, and it was really, really nice to see that. So let's get on to the story and the script. I think this is probably the weakest part of the film, which is surprising because James Gunn, if you look at his comic book resume, whether it's the Guardians of the Galaxy movies or the Suicide Squad or the Peacemaker TV series, the writing and the story has always been kind of where he excels. In this movie, it's a little bit there's a little bit of whiplash. There's a lot of, well, let's go here and let's go here, and tonal shift, and this scene just ends and now we move to another one, and there isn't quite as much flow. That being said, the movie is very light on its feet, and it never feels boring. It never feels slow. The 2 hours and 10 minutes or whatever it is blows by very quickly. But the story and the script were probably not my favorite out of everything that he's made. However, the characterization and the chemistry between the characters helps pull all of it together, and make what I think is probably a real 4-quadrant movie here. The action was awesome, as you would expect. It is big and bold and comic booky, and there's Crypto the super dog doing his thing. There's kaiju, there's pocket dimensions, there's big monsters, there's Ultraman. This is all stuff you've seen in the trailers, so don't at me in the comments and say that I'm ruining the movie. But it really looks good. I know there was a lot of stuff online about, oh, wide-angle lenses and this and that. Well, guess what? When you see it in the context of the movie and you see it on a giant IMAX screen in its full 1.90 aspect ratio, it works. It really worked for me. And I was really happy with the way the action turned out. Cinematography and VFX kind of play into that as well. I know that it was the guy who shot The Flash, but it's also the guy who shot Guardians 3 and The Suicide Squad. And I thought this movie looked really great, especially on a big screen. The CGI, all the VFX, there was really nothing that took me out of it. But then again, this is more like a very comic booky film. So some of those elements that might look a little bit fake, it's kind of like they're fake on purpose. So take that for what it's worth, and we'll go from there. Musical score, I thought was great. John Murphy and David Fleming did a great job. They use the John Williams score, but they only use it sparingly, and when they do, boy does it hit. There's a little bit of deconstruction of the John Williams score in here in certain parts that if you pay attention to, you can hear, and then there's some times where that big sweeping melody just kicks in, and it really, it bolsters the film up. It's one of those things where, it's other Superman movies are missing that soundtrack. So it almost feels like kind of like Star Wars. Even if a newer Star Wars movie didn't have a Skywalker or a Palpatine or whatever, but it had the Star Wars music, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's right, it's the Star Wars music. The John Williams theme is the Superman music. So I was happy to have it in the film, and it worked for me. So, recommendation-wise, I would say absolutely go see this in a theater. It is meant to be seen big. If you have an IMAX screen near you, that is probably the best way to go. If not, whatever premium large format exists, so whether that's a Cinemark XD or Regal RPX or Dolby Cinema, or there's like 14 different large formats that you can see this movie in. It's definitely worth the watch. Where does the DCU go from here? That I don't know. This movie felt very much like a standalone story. They do a lot of world building in it, and they show you how established this world is, where metahumans have been around. Superman is established. You don't see Superman's origin. You're just kind of dropped right into things. But the next show that comes out is Peacemaker. And then next year, right around this time, you'll get a Supergirl movie. And there's also a Green Lantern television show that's going to be on HBO that has some really talented folks behind it. Not sure how this will all tie into that, or what the big overarching plot of the DCU is going to be, even if there is one. But I think, honestly, that's kind of refreshing. There wasn't anything that, felt like dangling keys for where things are going next, or promises that may not